On Monday, Representative Madison Cawthorn offered his own definition of what he believes a woman is. Well, this ought to be interesting.
The left has ripped away the pen of truth from the author of life. They've exchanged natural science for a party platform and declared war on biology. Your left-wing movement is forcing children to endure radical expressions of sexuality. And yet, you can't even define what a woman is. You might amend a bill, but you'll never amend biology. Science is not Burger King. You can't just have it your way. I am the youngest member of the House of Representatives, and I never imagined that one of my sacred duties in this hallowed chamber would be explaining to the House Speaker the difference between a man and a woman. Take notes, Madam Speaker. I'm about to define what a woman is for you. XX chromosomes, no tallywacker. It's so simple. And yet today, this proclamation of fundamental scientific fact will cause the woke liberals in Silicon Valley to strip you of your voice and ban you until you bow at their altar of falsehoods.
That's Silicon Valley. Very, very dangerous. Silicon. All right, anyway, enough on that. Hey, libs. It's so simple. It's so simple. XX chromosomes and no tallywacker. That was simple. Simple. That's what a woman. That's what a woman is. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm so smart. Listen to the science. Isn't it funny that the time that these conservatives tell you to listen to the science, it actually has nothing to do with the science? That it only has to do with the culture wars? Weird. Because, look, even more funny is the fact that he's wrong. Science doesn't say any of that. What science says is that there's a difference between sex and gender. The term sex is generally used to refer to a binary of being either male or female as denoted by attributes that comprise biological sex. Gender is meant to refer to the various socially constructed roles, behaviors, expressions, and identities of girls, women, boys, men, and gender diverse people. So, all right. Those physical characteristics, by the way, can be changed through hormones and surgical options. And so, look, leave it to Republicans to get the science wrong. Look, nobody's arguing that sex isn't real. Scientists, of course, know the difference between sex and gender, right? Since the early 2000s have generally agreed that sex is simply a classification of reproductive organs and functions. That's it. So there is no reason, scientifically, that, a biologically born male with a quote-unquote tallywacker can't identify as a gender, a woman, adopt the social conventions of being a woman, dress and present herself as a woman, and be considered a woman. This is not something that science argues against, because what science does is that it makes observations. It doesn't make arguments, and it doesn't fight your culture wars. Her gender identity goes beyond just the biology and actually gets into the realm of psychology. And that's where gender is. Gender is a social construct. And really, honestly, I see it more as a spectrum, right? I don't see that as just, generally a binary, right? Not like there is on sex, right? And by the way, intersex people, they exist, they're valid, but for the sake of the argument here and the conversation that we're having, we're going to try to keep it simple for people like Madison Cawthorn so they can follow along. Stuff that they might understand. But I am aware that there are intersex people that do have, maybe a different arrangement, an extra X or an extra Y, things like that. So that is humanity is complicated, let me tell you. Humanity is complicated. And that's why it's very stupid for people like Madison Cawthorn to boil it down to this ridiculous, binary. And so now, the spectrum here, when it comes to gender, again, you've got masculine, you've got feminine, right? Anybody can fall anywhere on that spectrum, regardless of what genitals they have. There are feminine men, there are masculine women. You got tomboys, you got femboys. You got women that feel more comfortable in jeans and pantsuits than skirts and dresses. Oh, I mean, and then you got guys who like skirts and dresses. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a whole world of different people. People are different, and it's fine. They don't live up to these gender roles and the modern, gender role binaries. There are women who like to work on cars, typically considered a masculine type of thing. You've got men who like to work, to do makeup or do fashion design. All these things. Again, it's not accurate to boil people down to simple binaries. That's what I'm trying to say. People should not have to do the same thing or a certain thing based on what genitals they have. All right? And again, to boil it down really, really simple, saying that, oh, well, if you're a girl, you must like pink. And if you're a boy, you have to like blue. And all boys must like trucks and cars, and girls like to like dolls. No, you like what you like. That's it. That's totally fine. And liking things that, by the way, traditionally correspond to the person's opposite sex doesn't actually make that person gay or trans either. It just means that they might like that thing. It's fine. Be yourself. You're not hurting anybody. All right? That's it. And that's, again, as far as I understand. And I might be wrong. And that's fine, because we're always learning. Now, as far as people who are not fine, and as far as people who are hurting people, well, Madison Cawthorn. If you're Madison Cawthorn, then please stop being yourself, because at the end of the day, you are hurting people.